about to listen to the Dr. Dahlia Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Dahlia Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Dahlia.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOC-DALI. So we have a lot to get to, but I just want to open with this. This is really bothering me. So I'm watching the news, and I guess President Trump was holding this forum on energy and AI. And there was, Speaker Mike Johnson in attendance. There were representatives from Google and Meta and Oracle. And one of the ladies who was, I guess, one of the CEOs was speaking. And when the camera was on her, you're basically seeing boobie. And I'm like, wait a second here. What? She doesn't know that her outfit is low cut? And I mean, I don't want to call anyone out, but I'm sure, if you see, I posted a picture, but I left her face out because I didn't want to necessarily, identify who that was. But I'm sure everybody who saw that she was wearing a low cut, I guess, business jacket, no camisole, no underlined shirt. I mean, that's how I was trained. If you're going to be at a business meeting, your suit jacket does not double as a blouse. It's too low. You're going to have something covering the cleavage. And instead, you keep seeing bra and part of her boobie in this meeting. And I mean, people in attendance, were like I said, from Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, or OpenAI, SpaceX, a lot of individuals. And, it's interesting because before I noticed the boobie, I'm looking at this round table that Trump's hosting, and I'm looking at, all the women in power. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is pretty cool. You didn't see this years. I mean, I don't want somebody promoted just because they knew somebody or were a relative. I really, really love the idea that people who are there earned it. So when you see them, you're like, okay, wow. Just like with the movies, you're watching this actor or actress, and I'm like, why does this suck? And like, well, they're a relative of so-and-so. So I really, really like, knowing that what you're seeing is, the best of the best, the talent there. And so it was really nice to see a diverse, men and women. And then the first thing that we notice once the woman is speaking is boobie. And, and you could see she adjust, but then you still see bra. And I'm like, this is this is a pretty big forum. I mean, most of our 401ks are relying on what's to be discussed here, especially if we have money in NVIDIA and all sorts of other things. I mean, we're looking at this, and finally, you have women at the table, women who are CEOs, presidents, that are out there. And I get she's attractive. It was a cute, suit jacket, but suit jackets are not blouses. And so are these wardrobe malfunctions really an accident? And I'm not saying that with her, but we know stars will do that. They'll get out of a car, and of course, the skirt's coming up. And listen, in my dating days, I knew how to play it. I never wore anything low cut because I didn't like that. But, if somebody I like was checking me out, I might, have to pick something up and lean forward or something. I'd make sure I was wearing a good bra just in case anybody saw. I made sure, I was wearing good, underwear in the back, a G-string, whatever. So, people could notice just in case, because I was always in a Hanes Her Way Playtex 24-hour bra kind of girl. So I'm like, look, maybe I need to look like I have some better underwear. And so I get, but that's in the forum of, okay, this is somebody I like. This is somebody I, will hopefully date. Maybe, Mr. Dahlia. Well, I actually, my last name wasn't Wax at the time because I'm married. But anyway, that's a different forum. I mean, you're here on the news with the president, with the Speaker of the House, with all these other execs, and Booby, really? I mean, you're telling me that a CEO or a president of a company is that obtuse or naive as it pertains to proper decorum, or the fact that if there's not a button here, the shirt or the jacket won't stay closed? Are you telling me that just fazed you? And then if that's the case, how the hell did you become president of a company if you don't understand how a button works, or that you need a camisole or some blouse underneath? And, I'm very, it's a big pet peeve of mine, because seeing women advance and getting to these positions where they could be president and CEO, don't screw it up. I mean, and I'm not saying we have to dress all the time in turtlenecks and we can't wear makeup, and you want to be beautiful. But don't be bringing in it's just, we women have worked so hard to be recognized as non-people with vaginas that I don't want us to go back. And you're already seeing that. People are saying, well, you can't say woman anymore. So what we're going to say is it's a birthing parent, or it's a person with a vagina. No. Okay, we women are women. We fought really, really hard to be where we are. And we worked hand in hand with men. In fact, I owe so much of my success to men in my life. Am I going to make them uncomfortable by showing cleavage in a meeting where they're like, okay, I can't get caught on camera looking? What was it where Mark Zuckerberg was looking at Bezos's wife, and she was, in a very plunging neckline at the inauguration? And, you look away, but the camera catches that split second where your eyes saw. Nobody wants to be in that position. So, ladies, if you're going to represent, keep the boobies out of it, keep the bras out of it, keep, show them what we've got. And it doesn't have to be sexual. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, don't go away.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit, and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799, and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, FREE to 99799.
Hi, it's Mark Falter, host of the Financial Fitness Show. I strongly believe that no one should ever pay 1 penny more in taxes than they are legally obligated. Unfortunately, for most hardworking Americans, this just isn't the case. Why? Because most people spend more time planning next weekend's getaway than trying to ensure they're going to pay less in taxes. My financial fitness team has put together some materials that I know are going to help you. It's the Tax Savings Kit. Tax Savings Kit includes 3 things: free tax analysis, top 10 ways to pay less in taxes, and an investor's guide to taxes. Now, how do you get it? Simple. 866-764-2635. Again, 866-764-2635. I'm Mark Falter. This is Financial Fitness, making personal finance profitable.
We're back on the Dr. Dolly Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Doc Dolly, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer. And sorry for my allergies. And big thanks to Claritin for trying to curb my allergies today. Big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Dahlia, Facebook, The Dr. Dahlia Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So there's two schools of thought with what's going on in terms of evacuating Americans. On one end, people are watching, going, why weren't Americans warned? Why is now there this chaos? Many Americans are struggling to leave 14 different countries across the Middle East amid this war with Iran. And flights are getting canceled because of airspace and issues. And it looks chaotic. On the other end, I have been seeing warnings, and there has been multiple signs that, the Middle East might not be the safest place to go, especially after Hamas attacked Israel in, 2023. That was something that we, I'm not saying this is anybody's fault per se, but when my mom wanted to go to Israel, and I was fully aware that I think it was like a level 4 travel advisory, to not go, understand evacuation could be difficult. And, I took her to Israel in September. She wanted to see the holy sites. I took her everywhere. I took her to Tiberias, Nazareth, Jerusalem, everywhere, and Haifa. And I was fully aware that at any time Ben Gurion Airport could close, because I was traveling to Israel in a time when, this was in 2025, before the hostages were released, that at any time there could be another attack. And, there was always that level. And I mean, even when I was applying for my visa, because you have to now do a visa with a lot of countries to go there, it even said, you understand, you're traveling at your own risk. And I'm like, absolutely, I understand. And I asked my mom. And I'm like, while we were there were bombs coming in. We had to go to shelters, but my mom said, if you're not scared, I'm not scared. I'm like, I'm not scared. I mean, you sure? If you're okay with it, I'm good. And we went, and we had a trip, and we got the hell out. But it was on our own. I mean, I knew very well, this was September 2025, that, there is danger. Now, so the warnings have been in place. Anybody watching the news has known that, the U.S. was starting to bring in ships close by. There was, and also, this idea here that this fight with Iran started out of the blue, where we were so friendly with Iran that Obama gave them a lot of money. And I'm like, guys, no, we have been at war with Iran for a very, very long time. Now, I was only a little kid, but back in, November 1979, right, Iranian students backed by the regime seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. 66 Americans held hostage. 440-day standoff, and they only got released when Ronald Reagan was about to take office. Then in April 1983, the White House delineates this, as well as other media outlets. The Islamic Jihad, an Iran-backed terrorist group, carried out a suicide, if you remember this, a suicide car bombing at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, killing 17 Americans. October 1983, Iran-backed Hezbollah terrorists killed 241 U.S. military, 241, including 220 U.S. Marines, 20 other service personnel in a truck bombing at a Marine compound in Beirut. March 1984, Iran-backed Islamic Jihad terrorists kidnapped CIA Station Chief William Buckley on his way to work in Beirut, killing him the following year. September 1984, Iran-backed Hezbollah terrorists killed 23 innocent people, including 2 American service members, in a car bomb attack at the U.S. Embassy Annex in Beirut. December 1984, Iran-backed Hezbollah terrorists hijacked Kuwait Airlines Flight 221 en route to Pakistan, diverting it to Tehran, brutally torturing and then killing 2 American officials. June of 1985, Hezbollah terrorists hijacked TWA Flight 847 on its way from Athens to Rome, torturing a U.S. Navy diver, then shooting him point blank in the head and tossing his body onto the Beirut airport tarmac. July of 89, Hezbollah terrorists, again, backed by Iran, killed U.S. Marine Colonel William Higgins after kidnapping him the previous year while serving with the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon. 1995, April. Islamic Jihad terrorists killed 8 people, including 1 American citizen, in a car bomb attack in the Gaza Strip. 1995 of August, later that summer, Hamas suicide bomber blew up a bus in Jerusalem, killing an American and 3 other passengers and wounding more than 100 others. February 1996, another Iran-backed Hamas suicide bomber blew up another bus in Jerusalem, killing 3 Americans and wounding 3 other Americans. March 1996, a suicide bomber linked to the Iran-backed Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist kills 20 people, again including Americans, in a suicide bombing in a Tel Aviv shopping center. May 1996, Iran kills an American-Israeli dual citizen, warning another one in the West Bank. I mean, I could just go on. Between 2003 and 2011, the White House says Iran-backed militias killed at least 600 U.S. troops in Iraq. 1 in every 6 American combat fatalities in Iraq from Iran. 2003, another bus gets blown up in Jerusalem, killing an American. There's 2020, 2021, Iran-backed militia fired a rocket at coalition forces in Erbil, Iraq, wounding, again, U.S. service members and contractors. I mean, when you look at Iran-backed terrorists and what they've done, this has gone on for years. And then after they fund Hamas, and Hamas slaughters thousands of Israelis, including Americans, they conducted another 180 attacks against U.S. forces in the Middle East, wounding more than 180 U.S. service members, killing 3 more service members. And then in November of 2024, an Iranian national, an IRGC asset, was charged for plotting to assassinate President Trump. And then just this last June, Iran-backed militias attacked 3 U.S. bases in Syria and 2 U.S. bases in Iraq. Iran has continued to attack Americans and kill Americans, in addition to the tens of thousands of Iranians they've slaughtered, and Jews and other individuals. And you see the response. Look at how the Iraqi Kurds are now fighting back, to Iran. This wasn't, all of a sudden we're going to fight. Boy, Iran's a bad guy. Iran has always been bad. The regime, the Ayatollah, has always been bad. Why are Iranians across the world celebrating this and doing the Trump dance? I mean, this is something that, and I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to see Americans trapped in the Middle East. I want to make sure that we have no chaos at all, no service members lose their lives. I want this done with precision, laser focus, sort of speaking. But it is going to be ugly. It is going to be bloody, and the opportunity to finally do this is now. When the U.S. saw Iranians protest, and then they were slaughtered and raped and attacked, and you're hearing reports of people who were detained and what they did to them while they were detained. That if Iranians want Iran gone, if surrounding countries want the regime, not the country, but the regime, Revolutionary Guard and Ayatollah gone, and Iran has a history of going after America, and now with their nuclear capabilities. Again, I don't want war. Trust me. I don't want to see any long-term conflict. But you kind of wonder what's now going to happen with Ukraine and Russia. If Iran has been backing Russia and supplying these drones, and we've attacked their stores and silos of these, it'd be really interesting to see if the Ukraine-Russia war now turns the tide. Russia, I don't think is going to get involved. They're already kind of weakened and distracted. It was perfect timing. And don't think it's just Israel and the U.S. These other countries that Trump has been talking to, I mean, as we've said before, Israel does a lot of the dirty work that these other countries. I mean, these other countries don't want terrorism. They want their populations to feel safe. They don't want regimes like Syria had with Assad. And so, it's one of those things because people say, gosh, why don't the other countries, join in and fight Israel? Because they need Israel too. So we'll see what happens. But, let's get the Americans out. Let's get the innocent people out. Let's, hopefully this conflict ends quickly and Iran cannot rebuild their nuclear silos and continue to kill Americans. 1-877 Doc Dolly. Don't go away. Dr. Dahlia here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Lisa Wolf here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
We're back on the Dr. Dolly Show, 1-877 Doc Dolly, 1-877 DOCDALI. So this is the time of year where I get calls from patients saying, New Year's resolution didn't work. These weight loss drugs, I don't know if I'm doing them right because I haven't lost the weight I needed to. And the first question I ask is, what's your regimen? Who's helping you with this? Who's helping you navigate this? Or are you just doing one solitary thing? Because if you're going to manage diabetes or high blood pressure or a beauty routine or a weight loss routine, it's not just one aspect to it. And so I'm really, really excited for our next guest. We have Dr. Neha Patak, Chief Physician Editor and Health and Lifestyle Medicine, to talk to us about Embody. Embody is a new inclusive platform that offers self-guided classes, downloadable resources, interactive self-tests, webinars, and community support to not only help us, with weight, but to develop and maintain healthy lifestyles. Dr. Patak, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Well, this is exactly what, we've been telling patients that they need to look at and consider. Because it's to lose weight, it's a process, but you could be successful. But accountability is a big part of that. Talk to us about this accountability and what this platform can do.
That's exactly right. So yes, so many of us start the year off, we're very motivated, we have these resolutions, but as we know, motivation is a feeling, and feelings can fluctuate. So you may be really, really feeling it one day and then not the next. But what really makes us stick to a change goal is if we have a plan and if we have the support systems that help us stay consistent with that plan. And that's really where accountability comes in. As our motivation might fade, we can turn the I should be doing to I have a plan to do it, and someone is helping me follow that plan with accountability. And that's really what we're trying to do, as you mentioned, with the Embody platform, is to pull all of these pieces together to figure out what should I be doing, what's the best evidence, how can I do it in my life, and then to provide accountability partners and a support system so that you have your best shot at making these changes.
Oh, I love that. So talk to us about Embody and what does it do and offer?
Yeah, so as you said, we have so many patients and so many people we talk to in our lives where they have a health goal, whether it's weight loss or improving their blood pressure or just in general feeling better, better well-being. And what we know as doctors is sometimes we are really good at giving a very concrete prescription with a name, a dose, a timing. But when it comes to the things that are going to be really helpful in the long term, we often say things like, well, I also want you to eat better, and I want you to sleep better, and I want you to be more physically active. But we don't always give people the concrete prescription on how to do that. Right. And so that's what Embody is trying to do, is to say, okay, let's tune out all the noise, all the confusion. Here are the experts that are providing the best evidence for that small behavioral change, whether you're motivated to change your diet or somebody else may be motivated to increase physical activity or to sleep better. So it's the what. What is the best evidence? Tuning out the noise. And the second piece is the how. So the website offers free resources anytime, anywhere to really help you figure out what's best for you. Are you somebody who likes self-guided classes? Are you somebody who prefers a downloadable resource or a checklist that you can check in with regularly? Or do you want to have access to experts in real time? You can participate in our live webinars. So all of this is accessible on the website. Plus, what you said is so important is the community support, the accountability partner to make sure that you can check in with someone and say, hey, this was my plan and this is how it's going.
Absolutely. Raising kids, for example. You think, okay, you're going to raise kids by yourself. No, you need the teachers, or you have your clergy, or you have the doctor, or same thing, going through, a beauty routine or workout. We fear that this is something we have to do on our own, but almost everything in life, at medical school, I couldn't have gotten through medical school without other people like patients. So I think we do, have to reevaluate our thinking where, weight loss has to be something private in your own, personal space. And no, you can incorporate others, and just the power of support groups can't be overstated. Talk to us about why that's so important in reaching our health goals.
You are so right. So number one, it's really important to be motivated to set a health goal. So that's one piece of it. But what keeps us coming back, what keeps us consistent is that support group. And I think so often we think of a support group as really focusing on one particular health goal, but it's so much more than that, because support groups are incredibly powerful because it gives us a sense that we belong somewhere. We're with a group of people that are all on a similar mission. So that's one key piece. The second piece is it normalizes what we're going through. So whether that's a goal for weight loss, or it's a goal for improving our blood pressure, or a goal to get our sugars under better control, we all talk about it in a group, then we normalize that we're not alone. This is not just something I'm struggling with. We're all trying to figure out the best strategies. And then the third piece is we get to share strategies. So if somebody else has figured out a great way of getting that extra piece of fruit into their diet, that's great. Let's share that strategy. Let's all try to do that. And then the key piece is momentum. So we celebrate each other's successes so that we can build on the next step. So support groups, much more than just focusing on that one health goal.
Exactly. And, patients will feel very intimidated that their doctor is going to be upset with them, that they, research or they went to somebody else or went on. I direct people to WebMD often. That's actually one of my huge go-to sites for patient education and resources. And I didn't realize that there's so many patients who didn't know that we medical professionals want you to educate yourself and get other opinions. And so, I love that Embody is doing that. And I'm, grateful for everything WebMD has done, because they're my go-to, and they've helped patients, help educate themselves and, follow their goals in terms of their health. So Dr. Pathak, I'm really grateful you came on. Anything else you'd like to share with my listeners?
I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to shine a light on finding a place where you can go to get more information on your own time. Doctors are very important. We want to be there for you. We want to help guide you. We want you to bring us any questions that you have. But in the meantime, checking out sites like Embody at youembody.com, youembody.com, can help you in the between times to set that plan, set that intention, and then get down to making concrete actions.
Love it. Cannot wait to have you back. Thank you for all you do, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
1-877-DOC-A-DOLLY, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Yeah, it's interesting. Somehow this idea that, I went to Dr. Google. And I know doctors have made a lot of memes, and health workers, seem to get all insulted that I don't mind you taking on the education. I want to make sure, you don't get misinformation. But no, the idea that getting through a medical issue or a lifestyle change is all on you and all on your shoulders. It's not. When my husband was diagnosed with diabetes, that wasn't, okay, well, good luck. All the power to you. Oh, no. I'm involved. The kids are involved. And my sons make them go to the gym. I make them go for walks. Apparently, it's really, really good. It really improves your insulin resistance. This idea where you have to sit and wait for a couple hours after you eat. No. After you eat, it's good to start walking. Don't do a run or marathon, but I change the food that's in the house. It's a group effort. It takes a village, people. It takes a village. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
Hey guys, it's Clyde. We've had a lot of requests for Ground Zero merchandise, so we put together an online store with a big variety of high-quality items. I'm really excited to let you know about these things. We have a lot to offer you and your loved ones. In addition to our regular apparel, such as t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, and hats, we've expanded our product line with posters, flags, aprons, mugs, and a whole lot more. We also have Ground Zero collectibles, along with a limited edition of items like a Clyde Lewis canvas portrait, a Ground Zero embroidered jacket that will certainly make for great gifts and for interesting conversations with family and friends. And we now offer publications such as Ron Patton's book about mind control, MK Zine, and back copies of the official magazine of Ground Zero while it was in print. Paranoia, the Conspiracy Reader, also coming in 2023, are updated and revised books that I've written. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. So shop today at our official store by going to groundzeromerch.com. Again, that's groundzeromerch.com.
Hey, America. How tired are you of mainstream corporate media's biased narratives and manipulated news? Their dishonesty and attempts to influence this generation have been exposed, put on display for anyone who's even half paying attention. But the New American Magazine has been an honest source of news and commentary for over 50 years. This is your opportunity to receive the stalwart of principled journalism at a deep discount. Picture a beautifully published magazine arriving at your doorstep twice a month, packed with insightful stories written with integrity. It's also available digitally on the New American's mobile app. Get up to speed with intelligent coverage from a freedom perspective. Right now, for a limited time, the New American is available to radio listeners at a 25% discount on a new subscription. Visit thenewamerican.com/radio25 and receive 25% off. Subscribe today at thenewamerican.com/radio25.
Back on the Dr. Dolly Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Dolly, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So, I was writing the book right after my friend died, and I kept getting these prompts. Do you want AI to help you with this? And I'm like, no, I think my grammar is fine. Then I would type another sentence. Now, AI can reword this for you. No, I want it in the way I speak. This is how I sound. I like my participles dangling. That's how I write. And then email. I'm trying to write an email. Draft with Copilot AI. No, I don't want AI to write my emails. Let me create. Let me be creative. Well, I'm hearing there's this Einstein AI tool that not only helps students with their homework, but almost like takes over. Apparently, according to CNET, it's a new open source AI tool. Einstein created the startup Companion, where it operates through its own virtual computer, opens a browser, navigates class pages, watches the lecture videos for the students, reads the PDFs and essays, writes papers, completes the quizzes for the student, and then posts replies on discussion boards. One thing that's kind of new for those of us teachers who taught, a few years back, discussion boards are the way the students are interacting with teachers virtually. And so oftentimes they have requirements that they have to be adding messages to the discussion boards. AI is doing it for them. They say once connected to a student's account, the system can monitor deadlines, automatically submit assignments. Unlike they say chatbots that respond when prompted, Einstein functions more like a digital stand-in for a human student. Remember, you would have to pay good money for a smart kid to be you and take the test for you and all that, right? Pretend. Really hard, though, for somebody to pretend to be Dahlia because everybody knew who I was. And I wanted to take my own test. I wanted to do my own work. But that's kind of what this is. It's the person paying another person to be there for them. So it takes over your role as a student, completes your coursework on your behalf. Companion CEO Advait Paliwal says students are already using AI. We're just giving them a better version of it. Well, how is this allowing students to learn? When are students learning? Apparently, it integrates with Canvas. Now, for those of you that have ever taught in schools, Canvas is this big learning management system that a lot of universities have now converted to. High schools are using it too, medical schools. So this is where we upload your syllabus, your course material. We do everything on Canvas. We grade your papers, all that, or grade your work. There's no such thing as grading papers because nobody turns out a paper anymore. But AI will analyze the lecture recordings, summarize readings, generate written work that matches the assignment requirements. The company says the system produces original essays with citations and context-aware discussion points. Somebody taught this AI system how to be a good student. We'll track your announcements, upcoming deadlines. Technically, these students can enroll in the course, let this Einstein AI take over, and they go hit the waves or the slopes. That's frightening to me. Now, I get the spell checks. All right, I'm old school. I will use the computer spell check. And I'm noticing that sometimes Google Docs will also tell me where I need my commas. All right. They're going to tell me where to stick a comma. I'll take it. Because I sometimes forget. Remember, I went to 12 schools, so I didn't have very good consistency with the grammar part of things. Like one lesson I never got was when do you use fewer and when do you use less? So I'll say there's less people. And then somebody will correct me and say there's fewer people. So my guess, I need to look it up, but my guess is you use fewer when you're talking about numbers of things. In terms of like individuals, but something is less if you're looking at inferior or on the whole, a number. I don't know. I never got that lesson because, again, I went to 12 schools. I got Beowulf 3 times, Macbeth twice, but don't know a lot of simple grammar rules. And so, yes, every now and then, if Gramercy or whatever says you need to fix this, that's fine. But do I want everything taken over? And, there was a beautiful, beautiful sunset months ago. And I captured it, did a photo, gave it to my husband. My husband showed his friends a few weeks ago. And they said, what digital imagery did she use? What filters? He's like, none. She did that herself. She just took a picture and then just cropped out the trees so you could see the silhouette of the tree, and the all she did was just, take it on her iPhone. No one believed him. And I was like, dang, all right, good. People thought that was, but are you telling me, I don't even get credit for doing something on my own? Are people really going to think that any books I'm writing is AI generated? That sucks. I want to be creative. I want you guys to see me. Now, you'll know it's my writing because it will be grammatically incorrect and there will be some participles dangling. Then good. My diphthongs, all of those. I think you'll be able to recognize that it's me. Unless AI platforms are like, you know what? I've been listening to Dr. Dahlia for years. I know how she speaks. This is how she writes. That's frightening. Where's the authenticity? And if students are just using AI these days, who's learning anything? And then you'll hear, from some people, well, they have to learn how to use AI. They're going to have to learn how to use computers and navigate AI. That's it. I'd like them to learn medicine, love them to learn how to deliver a baby, how to manage somebody's diabetes. This makes people lazy. I remember panicking. I'm not saying I want the kids to be hit with rulers like we were growing up, but I remember if I was doing a typing test in class and I had an error and you couldn't go back and delete, how panicked I was that I made an error. I had to learn how to type with accuracy. My 10 key touch, I think I was able to do about 200 a minute. 10 key touch. And I could type about 90 words a minute. My mom could type over 100. She was just, we practiced and we practiced and we practiced. Practice makes perfect. Nobody has to practice anymore. AI makes perfect. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. In medical school, we would literally be sweating. Would be on hour 35 post-call, but still at the hospital, having to memorize somebody's vent settings and answer a call when the nurse is like, what do you want me to do with their BiPAP? Or you had to know what you were, what was their last potassium? How do you want to do the next K-ride? Or what do you want to do? I don't go to AI. I'm on the phone telling them what to do. You have to be able to think. And the whole purpose of school is to teach you how to think. I remember sitting in class going, why do we have to learn this? How does it help real life later? And I was the biggest big mouth. As I was like, excuse me, where is the relevancy in my life? Why do we have to learn about, I don't know, how many gallons to an ounce or ounce to a gallon? I wasn't the smartest kid. Well, it's because it had to teach you. It was trying to tap in on the parts of your brain to teach you how to do things. That's why I had to memorize Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet and do soliloquies in class. They wanted you to use your brain and exercise your brain. We're not having that happen with these kids. 1-877-DOC-DAHLIA. Dr. Dahlia here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.